Toastmaster of the day. Good morning. Our next speaker this morning is Toastmaster Ashok Kumar, and he's attempting a project, research and presenting from the Presentation Mastery Path Level 1. His project objectives are: the purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well organized, well researched speech on any topic. Timer to not time would be 5 to 7 minutes. Good luck to you, Ashok.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Toastmaster Ashok Kumar, yours visually. Yours visually, Toastmaster Ashok Kumar.
Before I
Who is going to time?
can I request someone to time it?
Satish, is it possible for you to time it?
Thanks. Thanks, Satish. I have a need to present my screen. Let me share my screen and then check my situation before timing starts. Is my screen visible? Audible? Fantastic.
Yes, Ashok.
Couple of months back, one of my colleagues, Ravi Bro, came to me and he said, Ashok, my boss has given me a task today and I need your support. So I asked him, what is that you want to accomplish? His manager has given him a task of plotting the gender diversity of 3 teams that he is managing and present that back to the leadership team. And when he started collecting the data and plotted it in a chart, it looked something like this. True data, because it is coming from his database, the teams, the number of male and female in the teams, in the 3 teams that he is managing, and the insights or tacit insights, right? There are insights out there. Anyone who can read the chart can understand the insights. This is a US truly chart, as I call it, because it has true data, true insights, tacit insights, through US truly chart. Well, this is great, but how to make this chart the greatest of all the times? And that is what we will talk about in the next few minutes. So we debated a lot about the data and I suggested him, hey, why not we take the help of an expert? So we turned to Shweta, who is a graphic expert in our team. So we asked her, hey, Shweta, how do we convert this chart into a more appealing one? And she did her magic. Before she started, she asked us a few questions. She said, who's the audience for this data? And what is that one message that you want to convey through this chart? And after that, she did her magic, and this is what came out. A clear, precise representation of the data, and it is very explicit as to what we want to convey through the chart. And this is what we call as a US visually representation of the data, which is also called an infographic. Infographic stands for information that is represented graphically. So today, we will talk about how an infographic converts US truly data into a US visually data. And there is a structure to this. And when myself and Ravi, we both started digging more and reading more about how to create infographics and what are the key elements of infographics. And we found that there is a method to accomplishing that, and it is a simple 2-step process, straightforward. Step number 1, remember the principle of pyramid. As some of you might know, pyramid principle is McKinsey's method of communicating something. So this was initially coined by Barbara Minto of McKinsey. And what this pyramid principle talks about is any representation of the data can depict a pyramid. Imagine this. How many times you have received an email from your colleague or your boss, and you have read through that long email with many paragraphs, but you never understood the point as to what he is trying to convey. And that is the exact problem pyramid principle is trying to solve. So pyramid principle says, when you want to write an email or talk to someone, first start with the key message or the action you want the person to take, and later substantiate that key message or the action with a lot of supporting data. So how do we know when we have reached that key message, right? Simple, there is a thumb rule for this. If you take a bus ticket, right, and if you can write the key message on the back of a bus ticket, you have reached that point where the message is brief and terse. That is step number one. Remember the principle of pyramid when you want to start an infographic. And step number two, where do I draw inspiration from if I want to create infographics or learn more about it? Myself and Ravi, in the last 2 months of digging into this, we found that there is a lot of inspiration everywhere all around us. And that is the dailies that we read, the newspapers and dailies that we read. So if you take the example of Times of India, right? Times of India comes up with what is called infographic in their middle page. And this clearly says what the message is at the top with a title, and it is depicted with the key messages throughout. Now, coming to the last 2 months after digging, the Ravi bro is now an infographics pro. So he threw me a challenge at me last week. He said, Ashok, can you decipher what this infographics is? Usually an infographic represents 2 attributes, but this one is special because this one this is one of the oldest infographic known to mankind, and this depicts 6 attributes in one picture. And what this infographic is, this depicts the Napoleon's invasion of Russia. So this infographic talks about how Napoleon moved towards Russia while invading, and how the latitude and longitude is depicted, the direction of movement is depicted, and also how he lost his troop throughout the journey is also depicted in this chart. And I was amazed because the one that we saw earlier, or we saw in the dailies, are simple infographics, but this one is a sophisticated infographic that I have ever come across. Eventually, putting it all together, step by step, brick by brick, click by click, I built this infographic to put the entire message of this speech into this one slide. And if you want to read more, I have created one repository, tiny URL, yours visually. You can go and look up and read more about it. And so you are become a yours visually now, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Ashok. So yours visually was definitely a visual treat, a lot of learning for us. So selective listening occurs when listener focus on only specific parts of the conversation that interest them, ignoring other aspects.